as we've seen newspapers struggle with advertising sales, we've heard people talk again and again about how the model for news is broken. But I've been thinking lately about something interesting about that, which is that for certain ethnic minorities, particularly African Americans, the business model for news has always been broken. You know, racial prejudice has always interfered, has long interfered with the ability of African American media entrepreneurs to sell advertising. You know, some brands, and this is an example of this that happened a couple years ago, and you know, there's a lot of examples, but some brands and their agencies won't buy from us because they believe that blacks don't have the money to purchase their products, or they just don't, or they believe that blacks will diminish the credibility of their brand. So, you know, in essence, there never really has been a great cash flow for black media companies to create or produce serious journalism. We see a lot of entertainment and lifestyle reporting. We see a lot of commentary. But, you know, serious political reporting is really not being done by these media outlets, and that's a shame. I think it would be great if our mainstream media outlets were able to step in and cure some of these deficits. But I think with, you know, newsroom diversity at the low that it is right now, I think that it's really unrealistic to expect something like that. So that brings us to the question, you know, in an age where we have so many troubles with our business model as an industry, is it possible for us to start new media companies that are targeting an ethnic community with serious journalism? Well, in 2013, that's the challenge that I decided to undertake with support from the IWMF. It is what I've been working on, and it's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about what I've come to believe is the key to success with this. Of course, there are multiple keys to success, but I think one of the main ones that's often underlooked is really focusing on choosing the right ad sales strategy. You know, you have two choices. You can prioritize whether to focus on getting your competitors' advertisers or finding your own. So I want to talk a little bit more about that. But before I elaborate on that, just a little bit about my background. So in 2011, I became a news entrepreneur for the first time when I started an online magazine in New York City that was targeting the African American community. So after working on that for about a year and a half, I began to look for a way to reduce the burn rate. And because I was financing it myself, and I began to look for a way to create a brand that could really distinguish us from our competitors. And so I approached the IWMF and proposed that they help me to convert what I was doing to another platform. I wanted to create this African American long-form journalism magazine to get serious about doing this investigative journalism, which is, you know, a passion of mine. So I called this long-form journalism brand Longview. And, you know, I projected that we could get 200,000 paying readers for the magazine after doing a bunch of calculations and talking to people who are in my audience. And this was something that the IWMF was interested in, supported, and did give me a grant for, which I'm very grateful for. So far, we've had no problems with developing the editorial for this because, I mean, you know, that's my experience as an editor. You know, these are some of the stories that we worked on. We worked on one about comedian Baratunde Thurston, immigration in the African American community and the black community, and the IWMF also helped us to get a reporter to the Congo. So we have some great stories coming down the pipeline. But I don't want to make it seem like it's all a bed of roses because it is not. I can tell you that we've had several problems getting off the ground. And really the main thing, and it's really delayed our launch several times, but the main issue that I've been having actually is the amount of time that it takes to find experienced and entrepreneurial sales and design people. I've spent 18 months, it took me 18 months to find the right designer. I went through 4. And it took me, and during that time I also was looking for salespeople. It took me 18 months to find 3 salespeople and a great designer. So, and with all those challenges, that pales in comparison to, you know, this bigger question of, okay, so now that we have the people, what's the business model here? You know, how are we going to make money with declining ad CPMs and declining, you know, revenues for advertising overall? So that brings us back to this idea, you know, choosing the right ad sales strategy. So in any startup, you have these two choices that I mentioned. You're pursuing your competitors' advertisers, or you're finding your own. Oh, I'm done. All right, I'm going to summarize here. So what my thinking on this is that if you focus just on just looking at your competitors, and of course you should be doing both of these, but if you focus just on looking at your competitors' advertisers, the problem with that is that the advertising pie is just way too small. And you're also never going to be able to compete with your competitors on the basis of reach, because you're looking at an ethnic minority by definition. So if you can focus on bringing in other advertisers, you stand a much better chance of enjoying some sort of sustainability. And that's an important part to build into your thinking about the launch of your startup. Okay, sorry, I gotta go.